It's a new month, and we know how quickly time moves as we are just 4 months away from the start of a new year. A part of growing as a nation and people in our 60th year of political independence is building on the legacies of our forefathers. So let's start putting the right plans in place so we can contribute positively to the next generation. I'm Adrian Atkinson, and welcome to another insightful edition of Jamaica Magazine. In today's show, we'll help you to navigate the waves of life through some seasoned tips that you will treasure. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
No matter where in this world I go, I am a Jamaican.
Jamaica comes alive as we celebrate 60 years of independence, our Diamond Jubilee, all year long. Join in the celebratory events, showcasing impactful legacy projects, entertainment and exciting commemorative events. Resilient and brave, industrious. Yes, we are Jamaicans. Jamaica 60, reigniting a nation for greatness.
Them here Jamaican chat, them say Jamaican bap.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, August 4, 2022. Jamaica and Namibia have signed a Memorandum of Understanding to strengthen cooperation in the areas of education, health, culture, entertainment, agriculture, and mining. The agreements were reached yesterday, marking the end of the inaugural Jamaica-Namibia Joint Committee meeting on the island. The two countries also reached agreements in other areas, including children and youth, the creative industries, energy, logistics, tourism, urban development, and diaspora cooperation. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says both countries have made progress on all agenda items.
It does make it a particular pleasure to be here today to bring these deliberations to a close after a day and a half of what we understand to be rich, constructive exchanges geared towards strengthening cooperation, particularly through the exchange of best practices, institution building, and enhanced people-to-people engagement.
Minister in the Presidency for Namibia, Christine Hobbes, says the discussions allow for meaningful insights into many developmental challenges that both countries are now facing.
This inaugural session paves the way for us to strengthen cooperation and deepen relations by sharing our learnings and experiences to enrich our collective efforts to do better for our people.
Jamaica and Namibia first established diplomatic relations 32 years ago. The National Housing Trust, NHT, has completed Phase 1 of the Ruthven Towers apartment complex in Kingston. The 8-story development, situated on 3 acres of land at 1-3 Ruthven Road, comprises 86 units consisting of 72 one-bedroom and 14 two-bedroom apartments. 6 of these have been reserved for public sector employees. Prime Minister Andrew Holness presented keys to several of the successful applicants during a handover ceremony at the complex on Wednesday. He says the NHT received 389 applications between November 12 and 16, 2021, from which 80 eligible contributors were selected. 58% of those selected were women, with 66% falling within the age range of 25 to 40, all of whom were NHT contributors. The Ruthven Towers complex is the third such development of its type undertaken by the NHT in the last 28 years.
Further, the Ruthven development represents less than 1% of the projects currently being undertaken by the NHT, as all other projects are being developed to cater to affordable housing solutions.
Emphasizing the need for diversity in the housing mix, he indicated that the NHT would be going ahead with the additional phases of the Ruthven Towers development.
Subject to layout modifications within the allowance for habitable rooms, in Phase 2, we will be able to put on the market approximately 234 more units. There should be no reason why someone who can afford a $40 million home should not get the opportunity to buy his $40 million home. There's no reason. Just as long as we are ensuring that the man who only can afford his $8 million home, he gets it too.
The complex is outfitted with a storm water drainage system, fire hydrants, underground and roof potable water storage tanks, a standby generator for common areas, lighting and elevators, among other amenities and features. In other news, the Prime Minister is urging more large-scale business interests to invest in agriculture. Mr. Holness reasons that if more business people see agriculture as a pathway to profitability, the island's food security and economic growth will be secured. This, he says, will be done when more capital, larger agricultural holdings, and infusion of enterprise are placed within agriculture.
We need to transform our agriculture. We need to bring management and entrepreneurism to our agriculture, and we need to bring science and technology to our agriculture. And I believe that if that continues, we are going to be able to transform our agriculture. It doesn't mean that we're going to leave behind the small farmer. No.
Mr. Holness says idle lands as well as former sugarcane lands are being placed in a land bank, which will then be structured into agri-parks for interested persons to access. The Prime Minister was speaking on Monday, the final day of the 68th staging of the Denby Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show in Clarendon. Meanwhile, the innovations and best practices of young farmers and agriculture students took center stage at this year's Denby staging. The highlight of the opening day, dubbed Youth Day, promoted government's Grow Smart, Eat Smart campaign. The Jamaica 4-H clubs spearheaded the Youth Village, which highlighted young contestants in the Grow Smart competition who showed off inventive methods of crop cultivation.
When you ask the question, what is going on with agriculture in Jamaica, the 4-H club is answering that question.
Angelique Chen of St. Mary took home the first place prize in the Grow Smart competition with her vertical drum planter.
I think with this I could reach worldwide, and it is very beneficial to farmers and people even who want to try it at home.
First, second, and third place winners will each receive a portion of $1 million. And finally, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is urging Jamaicans to reduce their heat exposure as the island and other Caribbean countries currently face extreme high temperatures. The heat season is typically between May and October each year, but this year is recording very high temperatures. The ministry is warning that excessive heat stress is harmful to health and is potentially fatal. Typically, heat-related illnesses can range from mild conditions, such as a rash or cramps, to serious and potentially life-threatening conditions, such as heat stroke. The elderly, children under 6 years, bedridden persons, individuals who are overweight, and those with pre-existing medical conditions, including diabetes and hypertension, are more vulnerable. To prevent illness associated with the heat, members of the public are encouraged to hydrate with cool water, drink more water than normal before, during, and after vigorous activities, as well as if you are exposed to heat for long periods of time, and limit or avoid sugar-sweetened drinks and beverages that contain alcohol. Persons are also encouraged to avoid the sun during the middle of the day, exercise indoors where possible, and wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothes made of breathable fabrics. Children should not be left in locked vehicles under any circumstances. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
Every month we get a chance to do it right, to go after those goals we set in January. Yes, those ones that seem far away, like owning your own home, starting that business, and reaching financial independence. Well, it may not be so far away if you get this right.
My presentation today is on getting the best bang for your budget. Budgeting, simply defined, is creating a plan to spend your money. Good budgeting, however, is ensuring that you're spending less than you earn. I know budgeting can be hard. You make a budget and you find it difficult to stick to it, but it's one of the best ways to keep track of where your money is going every month, and then you can identify what changes you need to make in order to reach your financial goals. When making your budget should include things like your needs, your wants, your savings, your investments, and your emergency fund. So typically what we're saying is that your money monthly should be going towards savings, your bills and utilities, your insurance, and your emergency fund. You also would want to ensure that when you're making your budget, you give every dollar a job and keep track of your spending. Keep a financial journal if necessary. This will help to keep you on track, and you can record and identify the things that you're actually spending your money on. So, one of the first things you'd want to do when you're creating your budget is create a financial plan, and it will help you to map out the actions that you need to take towards achieving these goals. And please ensure that you put your short-term as well as your long-term goals in your financial plan. After you've created your financial plan, then you'd want to identify all your streams of income. Your streams of income is not only your 9 to 5, and that's a mistake that a lot of us make. What about your other passive incomes? What about the earnings you make from your skills? You might be getting an inheritance. You might be getting an annuity. You might be the type of person to buy and sell things. You have to account for every single dollar you make. And likewise, if you're going to account for all your earnings, you'll also have to account for all your monthly expenses. And your monthly expenses is not only your utility bills. A lot of times we neglect to include the other things that we have to spend on. Sometimes the simple things like our personal care, your groceries, your hair care, your wants. Some of us have things that we have to do to maintain our mental health. Include those things in your budget. All things must be accounted for, so you identify where all your income is coming from and you identify all your expenses. So now, let's uncover some of those bad financial habits that are wrecking our financial future. And while it's easy to identify some of our big expenditures, sometimes it's uncovering some of those smaller, more sneakier daily expenses that will save you a lot of money in the long run. My first question to you is, are you paying your bills on time? Paying your bill late comes with penalty fees, and these fees add up. Implementing the right debt payoff strategy, you can pay off your debt quickly, end up saving more, and you end up having more money towards your other financial goals. Prioritize paying off your debts. Things that we tend to let slip through as well. Most banks have a charge that is associated with going to the ATM. Not to mention, if you decide that you're going to use another bank's ATM because it's more convenient, then you end up paying 2-3 times the amount. So you have to keep a close eye on your money, guys. You have to keep track of these fees. Cutting out unnecessary expenses will actually help you to save a lot of money each month. So let's quickly talk about some of the money habits that we need to develop. Pay yourself first. Take out money for your savings. Put it in an investment account if you have to. Have a separate bank account, but pay yourself first. Build up on your retirement fund. Increase your deductions. This will not only help you to put more money towards your retirement saving, but it also reduces your taxable income. And try to make it at least the amount that your employer will match. That's like getting free money. Who doesn't want free money, right? Save for the future. Saying things like YOLO or FOMO can make you feel like you need to spend all your money now. But there needs to be a balance. Enjoy your life now, but be sure that you're saving money for the future and working diligently towards your goals. Live below your means. If you're spending more than you earn, at some point, you're going to have to require credit to cover the rest. If you find yourself having to get credit to pay for basic things, then you need to revisit what you're doing. To grow your money and create real wealth, you need to start investing. Invest your money and help to build up and secure your financial future. Last but not least, invest in a critical illness plan, guys. So I'll end by saying, not budgeting your money, combined with bad financial habits, not saving, can leave you vulnerable to unexpected emergencies, living from paycheck to paycheck, not to mention not having enough money for retirement. You can achieve your financial goals. It's just a matter of prioritizing, sticking to your budget, and tracking your spending.
We are fixing the wrongs this August as we turn our focus on the freedom of having a clear mind. Find out more about crushing your life goals by firstly setting up yourself to win.
Good health, especially our mental health, is an important factor to achieving success. And so, taking care of our body, particularly our brain, which regulates how we function, is key.
It's how we think, it's how we feel, it's how we navigate and how we connect with each other and how we function, right? And when we're mentally well, it means that we can grow, it means that we can flourish, it means that we can achieve the goals that we've set out to achieve.
Mental wellness is one of the 4 dimensions of health, the others being the spiritual, physical, and the social. They all feed into achieving stability.
We talk about in terms of mental healthness, it's feeling balanced, right? It's being able to think and it's being able to function well.
The fact is, the ebbs and flow of life are normal, and so understanding and applying coping methods is paramount. It is said that this is the foundation on which character is made. So ask for help when needed, maintain positive relationships, and take control of the situation. More later. The COVID-19 pandemic has created challenges within the mental realm for many persons, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, having assessed the impact, has crafted a national program of response.
So this program is intended on bringing the experts together and to just help us to readjust back to the normal life that we used to. Because COVID has been devastating on us. Some people call it mental health, we call it mental wellness. Because we're not promoting the negative, we're promoting the positive. We are saying that your state of mind should be positive about life.
The program, spearheaded by psychiatrist Dr. Sophia Longmore, seeks to promote a better understanding and acceptance of mental well-being, with special attention being paid to children in schools exhibiting deviant behavior. It evaluates root causes and provides psychosocial support.
The need is great for mental wellness in our society at this time. And my role in the Senate, in the upper house of Parliament, along with being a psychiatrist and president of the Jamaica Psychiatric Association, kind of made it such where I could help to make this happen. So this is a collaboration between the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Ministry of Education and Youth, the Jamaica Psychiatric Association, and the Jamaica Psychological Association. It's a national program that we're doing, but we are starting with where we think the need and the impact is greatest at this time.
Our youth have been negatively impacted by COVID-19, with some reporting to be overly stressed from the lack of face-to-face interaction and tactile in-classroom learning experience for over 2 years. Having to adjust when the call came in for in-person sessions has added to mental angst.
It is okay that you did forget some of the study techniques. What we have to do now is to learn to re-engage. Learn now to live as a young person again. To enjoy your education experience. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your classroom setting and your teacher. And don't make anything bother you so much that you sit down by yourself in loneliness, fear, and anxiety. We're saying that no matter how you feel depressed, or lonely, or anxious, or uncertain, no matter how much the work is giving you trouble, or your circumstances at home may be a little problematic, we're saying that we are here for you. There's someone you can come talk to, and there are ways to overcome all of that.
The intervention, which began in June, targets schools across the island with face-to-face and virtual sessions and provides support for school administrators to cope with the challenges. The expert counsel from these sessions provides an appreciation of the concepts and techniques of mental wellness that we could all use as part of our coping mechanism.
When we speak about mental health, right, how do we ensure as young people that our mental health is appropriately addressed? Well, one, it's important for us to identify what makes us happy, what's our strengths, and also to identify what's our sources of stress. So for example, if you know there's a particular friend group, right, that brings you joy, that brings you happiness, so guess what? Know your tribe. Know your group that feeds you and feeds your energy. If there's another group or an environment that every time you go there you feel nervous, you feel anxious, you don't want to be there, identify your source of stress and stressors. So if you know that, what do you do then? If you know there's a group or an environment that's not really sitting with your soul and your spirit, distance yourself because you don't need that, right? Listen, we know life has stressors, but I guarantee you, being positive, expressing gratitude, sometimes just write down a list of things of what you're grateful for, it feeds into your well-being. It feeds into how you see the world and how you navigate your challenges. And just be mindful that everybody's paths are different. We're all unique, we have our strengths and we have our flaws, and that's okay. Additionally, we have to practice self-worth. And what do we mean when we say we have to practice self-worth? You can hug up yourself. Know that you are worthy. Know that you are deserving. And know that the others around you are worthy and deserving.
Major red flags used to identify when we are not well mentally includes lack of concentration or not being able to retain information, a drastic change in appetite, being easily irritable outside your typical window of annoyance, being excessively worried or anxious, prolonged sadness and withdrawal from friends and family.
How then do we combat these things so that we don't get to the red flag level? Well, I have the first one there, drink water. But what does that mean if the majority of your body or your body has a high percentage of water? It means you're always using it, right? You get up, you breathe, you're paying attention now. So you have to replenish your body. You have to drink your water. Less sugar, we spoke about that. Exercise, we spoke about that. We spoke about making your little gratitude list. It's important to be grateful. It's important to highlight the positive interactions. You're not neglecting and you're not minimizing your negative interactions or experiences. But when the good things happen to you, jot it down. Remind yourself. So when the bad things happen, you remember, oh, you know, I was on the honor roll. Oh, you know, my mother said I was lovely today. Oh, you know, I got an A.
Practicing good breathing exercises and getting adequate sleep by establishing a bedtime routine also provides mental benefits. Cheers to good mental health.
As we close out the summer, we know children can be quite a handful to manage at home. Here's how you can create some structure.
Schools are closed and you're seeing more of your children. I get it. The idea of being cooped up with them all day can be daunting or overwhelming. But there's hope. In a moment, we will share a host of engaging activities for your children while they're at home. Structure and regularity are good remedies for manufacturing calmness in times of distress. So here's a structure for a child. Let's start with creating a schedule that lays out time for studying, chores, eating, of course, fun activities, and downtime. Incorporate new gaming activities into your child's routine, like puzzles and game boards such as Monopoly and Ludi. Charades and ABC Fast and Slow, Chinese Skip and Jump Ropes are also entertaining games that have the added benefit of getting them moving so that they're exercising without even realizing it. This works better for younger children. They are attracted by a range of colors and experiments. So how about you engage them with some drawings and paintings, bringing their artistic sides to life? Creating science projects is also a good way to work the minds while engaging your children. Music is perfect to get the young ones up and engaged. Plus, there are many studies suggesting that learning music helps children with their academics. Some musical games to explore include karaoke, musical chairs, and musical trivia. This is also a good way to teach them about their rich musical heritage. This may be the perfect time to teach your children how to prepare their favorite meals. If they already know how, then all the better, getting expert hands on board. So here's the plan. Get a cookbook and get them involved. This could make them feel that they are making a valuable contribution to the family. As a parent, you'd already know the value in exercise and working out, so how about encouraging your children to create a workout routine, do some yoga or dance routine, and keep them moving. It might not be such a bad thing to allow your children to keep in touch with their peers or friends and keep a strong support network. If they wish to call or text friends and families, let them do so. Just monitor them. Socializing helps to regulate your mood and stay grounded, and that's as true for children as it is for adults. Some of these activities require the involvement of a responsible adult, but for those that do not, monitoring is still important for safety. Remember that different activities apply to different age groups, so ensure that you check on them in between all their playtime activities and ensure that all is going according to plan. Also, remember you can split the monitoring work between parents and/or older siblings. One parent or older sibling can monitor the children in the morning, while another person takes over in the afternoon. With that said, all the best.
We hope you're ready to put into action what you've learned today. Don't forget you are more than capable of achieving your goals by putting the right plans in place. We would love to hear your thoughts about today's show or any other content from one of our programs. Send us an email, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.